Hello friends, this is Kishan and this is the continuation of my previous video tutorial. In previous video tutorial we had created a project is called Spring with JDBC and this code is still pending, so let's continue with this code. Here in a Spring configuration file we have configured data source. Now we have a few Java classes. Those classes we have to configure in a Spring configuration file as well. So let's configure this service class. So copy qualified name and register as a Spring bean. So let's use bean tag, bean ID and class. So class name, this is qualified name of class, and specify bean as a employee service. Now we need to register a DAO class as well. So bean ID and class. So let's get the qualified name of our DAO class name. So copy qualified name, and this is the qualified name of our DAO class. Now let's make ID as employee DAO. Now from client program we are going to delegate the call to the service layer. So in this service class we need to declare a reference of our DAO interface. So that is employee DAO. So this is employee DAO, and let's create a setter method of this reference. Now here we can call to the DAO layer method. So this is from here create employee, we need to call. Here we can make the call to the get employee by ID, and we pass the ID. Next call will go to the delete employee by ID, and update email by ID, and here get all employee details. Now from service to we are delegating the call to the DAO layer class right here. So here first API I am going to code, and here first of all I will code in fashion of JDBC, traditional JDBC. So here I am going to declare data source first, and this data source you will have to import from javax.sql. And let's create a setter method of data source. Now there are some modification in configuration file. So here in service class we have introduced this variable. So this variable we have to inject, right? So go to the here and service class, we have a property name this, and we have created a setter method of this property, right? So this is going to refer this bean. So ID of this bean we have specified. In DAO class we have a data source, so this also we need to configure in this bean class. So property name equal to data source and ref equal to this data source. So almost we have configured XML file. Now we need to complete first API, create employee. Yeah. So here first of all I'll show you how usually we code in the traditional JDBC fashion. So here let's create a connection, and we will have to make import from java.sql. And let's begin the try catch. And here we are going to get connection using DataSource. So DataSource also has a get connection method. Now once we get the connection, then we make use of the prepared statement. Prepared statement. Prepared, we will have to import from java.sql. So ps equal to null, and let's create a prepared statement. ps equal to connection dot prepare call, which takes SQL as the parameter. Now we need to prepare the first SQL query. So let's create a SQL query. String SQL equal to, basically we want to insert data into employee underscore table. So insert into employee underscore table, and we need to specify the column name, right? So we have a column where like employee name, employee ID we have made auto incremented. So employee name, comma email, comma we have a gender, salary, values, and put 4 placeholder, and every placeholder should separate with the semicolon. Now this SQL you need to pass here. Now prepare statement has a setter method for all data type. So ps, so from left if you count, then first comes employee name, and that is the type of a string. So set a string, and index will have to give first. So first index contains, now employee dot get employee name. Now you need to supply the value for every column. Now second column we have a email, and third we have a gender. So this is the index of 2, 3, and here goes email, right? So get email, and after email we have a gender. So get gender, and finally on fourth index we have a set double, salary has a data type double. So employee dot get salary. So we have supplied value for all placeholder. Now prepare statement has a method like execute update or execute. So here I am going to use execute update. You may use execute or execute update. So here I am going to use execute update. So this guy will return you the integer. This value is nothing but the number of rows affected by this SQL query. So if you execute this SQL query, then one row will be inserted into the database. So affected row is 1. So here you can may check if greater than 0, then we may prompt a message employee is created, and finally block we can close the connection. Here we may check connection not equal to null, then connection dot close, and of course close method is Jdbc API, so this is going to throw uh, SQL exception, so we need to I'm going to wrap inside the try catch. So this is the way to create employee using traditional JDBC fashion. So you can see the amount of code we have written. So now we need to write a client program and we'll make call to this API. So here is the client program. Here we can abstract application context, then new class path XML application context, and here this constructor takes the beans.xml. It's a configuration file which is present inside the src folder, and let's close this guy, and we can get the reference of our we can make the use of get bin. And here I would like to use this API where first we'll pass the ID of service bin, employee service, and here we'll pass employee service IMPL. So this will return us. Here we can take the, instead of implementer class, we can take the interface type. So, and here finally we can make the call to create employee. So before that we need to create an instance of employee, and here set employee email john.s@yahoo.com, set employee name John, set employee gender, you can say male. Finally we have to set the employee salary as well. So let's take 90,000, and finally we are going to make the call to add employee. Right here we are passing the employee. So let's test this code. So right click over here and as a Java application, and here we go, we are getting some exception saying that unknown database Spring with JDBC. Let me check out whether this unknown database is Spring with JDBC. Let me check out whether this database exists or not. Okay, JDBC DB. I think our database name is Spring with JDBC DB we had created. So here is the little mistake. So now let's run, and here we got the message employee has been created. If you go to the toad and if you click on the data, then here we have inserted a row successfully. So that's all I wanted to show you in this video tutorial. I will continue with the same example in the next video tutorial and see you there. Till that, happy learning guys.